Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today, we have a special guest. Got Navi on the podcast. But we are covering Speak No Evil, which came out last year in 2024. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea.
Oh, I have it over here. My bad. Today, we are drinking a repeat of Republic of Tea's High Calf Tea. It is the Ginger Mint Green Tea. And it has green tea, ginger, spearmint, peppermint, and green tea extract. This one does have 50 milligrams of caffeine content. Normal green tea is just 25 milligrams. So those that are sensitive to caffeine, pay attention to the name.
But thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So, an American couple, along with their daughter Agnes, go to Italy, and they meet a British couple, and they become friends.
She just had a spot of drool land on my wrist.
Sorry. She does that when you pet her too much. She drools.
I've never seen a cat do that.
You've never seen a cat drool?
I've never seen a cat drool like that.
Yeah, she'll drool sometimes if she's like really feeling good.
Okay.
But yeah, so the American couple decide to go to the farmhouse to visit the British family. And yeah, there's something sinister afoot. So, for entertainment, I will say in general, this movie is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It is extremely uncomfortable. But with that being said, I personally give it a 7.75. I feel these past couple of weeks, we've had some pretty solid movies. I will say the character development with this one is really interesting, especially with the American couple, because the wife had texted received a dick pic of.
Well, it sounds like she was also kind of reciprocating, like they were sexting.
Yeah, and so. Their relationship is pretty strained, but they're trying to keep it together. And also, there's a lot of moments in the movie of like, oh, well, it's the social norm to be polite and respect your host, no matter what sort of uncomfortable situations they put you through. And then the actual like British family, especially like the main guy, that the tension with him was really good because you're like, something's off. God, yes. I can't quite put my finger on it, but he seems dangerous. And yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well,
madam.
Hey.
What are you?
Am I in your way?
Excuse me. Well, goober.
Bye, kitty.
But yeah, the standout awkward moments is the fake BJ under the table.
Yeah.
The uncomfortable car ride when they're like singing. I don't know. That was just like really uncomfortable for me.
That one didn't. That one wasn't as bad.
No. It's hard to beat out the fake BJ. It's just, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I will say something that felt nice though is the survival of the characters did feel earned.
Yes.
Like it felt
absolutely.
It's like, wow, they are in such a dangerous situation. How the hell are they going to get out of this? And
and relatively unscathed.
Yeah. Whole things considered.
I mean, all the therapy.
Oh,
all the therapy.
Yeah, but it's like the storyline really kept me engaged, and I was like questioning, like, you know, if the parents would be able to make it out, if the kids would be able to make it out. The pacing I felt like was pretty decent overall. And then the buildup was really good. And I really liked the social manipulation that the main bad guy would do, where
Patty.
Patty, where it's like he's like, oh, you know, you're going to leave, but your daughter's bunny is up in the gutters for some reason, or it's like, oh, don't leave, Patty's not up yet, and he'd be so angry. And yeah, like they just all the manipulation.
Let him save face.
Yeah. And then there were a lot of frustrating moments, but the tension overall was pretty good. But I will say there are some moments where you're like, why? Why did you do
leave.
that? Yeah. Yeah. To the music's credit, I didn't find it distracting or anything. I felt like it went really well with the movie itself. And yeah, it's like, it is a slow buildup, but it doesn't feel like a slow movie. Like you're just like engaged from the beginning.
There's so many like red flags sprinkled all throughout the movie. It just keeps you engaged, and at each point you're like, okay, what are they going to do now?
Yeah. Like
what uncomfy moment is coming next?
Yeah. I'll go into what the characters, what I disagreed with, what the reactions were in the realism. But yeah, like overall, I feel like the movie does a great job in building tension and giving a little bit away with how Patty actually is, but not like too much. Especially whenever he's interacting with their quote unquote son. When he was like getting like frustrated with him.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's like, as the other parents are like, what the heck? But it's like, they're like, oh, but he's not our child. It's just like, it's one of those moments where it's like, yeah. But anyways, yeah. But overall, like a really, really well done movie.
Yes. As a parent, this movie was one of the most uncomfortable movies I've ever seen. To be perfectly honest.
I don't blame you. I can see why.
So uncomfortable. But honestly, like, James McAvoy is a freaking genius. He has such a wide freaking range. And he made this movie so uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah.
He did such a good job, but oh my God, please stop.
I feel like the American Mom, she did an excellent job too.
Yes, she did fabulous. The dad felt like such a pushover in so many things, and he clearly like looked up to the guy Patty, but like
yeah.
Like why? Just so many red flags that all of you are ignoring for no reason. But this is fine. I personally give it a 7.75. It was so well done. It's not going to be one I go to every time because it's so uncomfortable, but it was so well done.
Yeah.
The effects were really good in the movie. There weren't really any like jump scares. It was just subtle tension and
anxiety.
Yes, and suspense and anxiety. So much anxiety. All the anxiety.
Especially when the kids are going into the under the barn,
the basement.
Yeah. Oh, I was like,
yes, and you see all of the suitcases and backpacks and belongings and things, and all the cell phones, and your stomach just drops. And you feel so bad because poor Aunt has been trying the entire time to warn them. The entire time. But nobody listens. But yeah. We'll get to a lot of stuff in the realism. It really is a good movie for questioning, like, where's the line to draw for saying something? Like, there's politeness, and then there's a limit of you're now just being a pushover and not saying anything, because there are clear red flags and boundaries crossed. Multiple boundaries crossed.
But I love the manipulation, though, because whenever they're like, you did this, they come back and be like, well, this is why I have trauma, because I always wanted a daughter.
Well, why didn't you say anything?
Yeah,
and
yeah, it just, yeah.
Yes. It's infuriating, honestly. But it does, again, bring up that question of how much is too much. So, it was really, really well done. It's definitely a social commentary type movie. Seeing what all the bad guys can get away with, and clearly they've gotten away with it many times. So, very well done there. The mom is awesome. And honestly, MVP for the number of kills at the end. Seriously, like, she set up that trap with her phone in the closet with the alarm.
Yeah.
And the kids in the other closet. And she had the acid at the ready to get them, so she could get the kids past there. Then using the sharp end of the claw hammer like the dad should have initially against the other guy.
Yeah, she is by far the best character.
Quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
Then kicking the girl off the roof. For the win. Because no one messes with Mama Bear. But yeah, she did really well there. I am insanely proud of the boy for getting that closure. Graphic as it was, that was brutal. Kid went off and had some repressed rage come out there. But honestly, I get that. That's fair. And he did ensure that the guy would not come after them. Like, it was legit over. It was definitely 100%, no question about it.
It was more than a double
over. Tap. It was done. But main baddie was dead. So, so much therapy. All the therapy needed for everyone involved, especially him. Mm-hmm. But good on him, instead of like just knocking him out or thinking that he's dead and then they're walking away and he gets back up.
Yes. I'm glad that they actually made it final.
It was very, very clear that it was done.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate that. There was decent closure to the movie.
Yes. That's always nice. So,
that was very nice. The acting was really good. The interactions between the different characters all felt fairly organic and made sense. At first, I had an issue with the main couple because they didn't have much chemistry, but then they revealed why there was so much tension and all, and it made so much more sense. Mm-hmm. And that was good. I appreciate that little tidbit there. The chemistry between Patty and his girl, the bad girl, I'm horrible with names.
It was like Kiara or something. It's like Ciar
or something.
Ciara,
yeah, something.
Ciara.
Something like that. Yeah, their chemistry was really good.
Yeah,
it was an effed up relationship.
I wonder, because she had said that she had been groomed. I wonder if that was actually the case. Like, I really want to know what actually happened between them, because, like, she has to be her own amount of messed up to go.
Well, she was in it. Like, she was actively helping with this stuff.
And so it's like, I want to know her backstory, you know?
But
like, what happened with her?
Like, they were both definitely 100% in it.
Yeah.
But there was also some some stuff going on there because she did have the bruises too.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he was definitely manipulating and abusive towards her, but
she also hit him back.
Yeah.
And
but
also,
it did make sense.
It's not healthy.
With her saying that she wanted a child and they're having trouble, and then that's kind of what got it started. And then it just sounds like maybe they just, did it for so long that they don't know how to stop. I don't know.
It sounded like they had been doing it a lot before, and she decided that she wanted a child. And then they started with the families with the kids. That's what it sounded like.
Okay.
But they don't give us a whole lot to go on for a lot of their backstory.
Yeah.
So regardless, obviously it was a toxic relationship. Anyway, but well done, well portrayed. The child actors did a good job. The little girl, you could really feel her anxiety, especially when they were leaving and they didn't have the bunny, and you could see like her scratching and everything. Like that hurt me to watch. The little boy, God, he was trying at every turn to tell them. And he did it really, really well. And he was so smart in the movie, like with the keys, getting them off him when he was passed out.
And then getting them back on.
And then getting them back on by asking for a piggyback ride that way. Oh my God. 10 out of 10, kid.
Yeah, that was really smart.
Yes, absolutely. She, drooled all over the table.
Oh, oops. Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
Navi.
Spots.
Ew. She was really liking those scritches.
She was very happy. But yeah, it was a really, really well done movie for entertainment. Again, very uncomfy. Super uncomfy. But very well done. And the scenery that they used was absolutely gorgeous.
So for realism, I give it a 3.5. It's like some decisions felt frustratingly irrational. Like, for example, the dad retrieving the bunny when even the daughter is like, I just want to go home. And it's like, maybe I could see one interpretation being like, oh, she wants him to go ahead and get the bunny so that way they go home. But it's like, I was interpreting it as she's like, I don't care about the bunny. Let's just go. But I don't know.
He did it because he didn't want it to seem out of character for them because they had to come back for the bunny. Like, it was a big thing and they knew it was a big thing.
Yeah.
So he didn't want it to be like, no, we are definitely desperately trying to leave. He's like, it would be weirder if we didn't get the bunny.
Yeah, I can see that. But I just,
Oh, yeah.
And then, the characters ignoring obvious warning signs. It's like they knew, I think they were warning signs, but like hoping for the best type of thing, like hoping that it was on them, that they had like misinterpreted like what happened.
Super into benefit of the doubt kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a good depiction of kind of the social conditioning that we've been under where, people kind of ignore their instincts on red flags going on. And then the manipulation tactics by the British family was like really great, especially like
it was
the
well
mom,
done. Mm-hmm.
Like whenever the mom is like, oh, we're leaving because like my daughter was in the same bed as them. And then whenever they are forced to come back, and then the Patty's wife explains, oh, it was because I always wanted a daughter.
We had a daughter, but she passed away.
Yeah. And so, but it's
she was
like
crying and I just wanted to help.
Yeah, it makes you question, at what point do you listen to the red flags, first of all? And then second, when those people that are giving the red flags have an explanation, how many of those explanations or excuses are
acceptable
for the red flag that's being put off. Because it's like, there are things that it's like you do see people do certain things that we'd consider quote unquote red flags, but when you understand their like history or like the context of like, oh, this is how I was taught you're supposed to do, or I have trauma.
They're also in a different country. Like they moved from America to England.
So they might be saying, well, it's a cultural
like, maybe it's a cultural difference. We don't know.
Yeah. And that makes it all the more like, because I feel like it wouldn't have been as effective if it was an American family visiting in another American family. I feel the fact that they're from like, I mean, obviously American and British culture is very closely related.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the cultures are completely different, but it's like, from there are some cultural differences. And so I feel like with that, the movie played very well on that. It's like, well, we don't want to be rude.
Well, it's not necessarily just cultural differences. It's a fact of they just moved there and gave up everything they knew in America. They don't really have any friends. Neither of them have a job. Yeah. Like this is the potential to start a friendship with another couple that has a kid the same age.
Yeah. But not only just like the cultural aspect, but also like the family is more used to like suburbs versus a family that like lives on a farm. Like I feel like even in America, like you meet a family that grew up on a farm versus someone who's like grows up in the city. And even that like aspect is very different. Like even like how you raise your child can be very different.
It can be vastly different.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like there's just multiple facets that they're trying to sort through.
But I feel like they also try to explain away so much. Like,
yeah. I know. But I think that's the whole point of the movie. There's like, what's acceptable, what's not, what are you willing to like compromise with? But yeah, it turns out that obviously the family is not very safe.
It was so hard for me not to yell at the screen. My daughter was asleep while I was watching this, and it was so hard for me to not yell at the screen.
But yeah, it's just interesting too, because I would love to see, I don't know if it'd be a prequel. Well, I mean, it'd have to be a prequel because they died, but, a prequel to another family that visited and have the, Patty's reaction to what if this family listened to the red flags right away and they're like, we're leaving, and see what he did with them. Cause I don't feel like he would let them get away that easily. But it's like, if it's just the gate though, like why? I don't know. It's like, I feel like they'd still be able to bust through the gate I don't know. Cause they're just so worried about like, oh, he has to open up the gate. He has to open up the gate. It's like, oh, man.
Well, they were trying to get Aunt to open up the gate so that once they like got through, Aunt could jump in the car and they could all go. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Sure. But
they had also brought
Patty
it up
was
before,
like,
though.
I have a button.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of like a sturdy gate, but I feel like the latch mechanism didn't look that sturdy when they actually showed it. So I'm sitting here like, pretty sure that car could get through that gate.
Yeah, and this might make me seem like a bad person, but if I was the father driving away and I saw that Aunt got pushed into the water, I would still drive out of the gate, then go to rescue Aunt, but then like have the wife like take the car and run, or call the like.
Well, he said take the wheel and go.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did. He said keep going,
and she's like, no.
And she just sat there and watched.
Yeah. So. But it's like, I feel like he should have still drove the car past the gate. Like, just...
Well, in a drowning situation, every second, like, every microsecond counts. So I get it.
I mean, part of me was like, just drive away and let the kid drown. Like, I know that's terrible. That is terrible. But it's like, family first? I don't know. It's just like... Because it's like,
I get the dad's reaction. I don't understand the mom's reaction.
Or all four of them die, you know?
Yeah. like I said, I get the dad's reaction. I do not get the mom's reaction. Freaking at least drive past the gate while he's getting the kid.
And it's frustrating because she normally was so smart.
Yes.
She's like one of the smarter characters.
Yes.
And then not that time. She's just panicking. But yeah. Like I said, I might be a terrible person, but I'm just thinking
you also
one
have a
person's
really
death,
big self-preservation streak.
But if I was trying to rescue my family, I'm thinking that's 3 people versus 1.
Yeah.
And if I go and rescue one life, then I'm putting all 3 of us at risk. And it's like not just about saving myself; it's about saving the other 2 people that I care about.
Oh, I get it.
But yeah, I know.
I get it. I would want, like, if I was in that situation, I would have wanted Chris to jump out to get the kid. I would have driven past the gate.
Yeah.
I would have driven past the gate.
Yeah.
Because my priority is Allie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Like, no offense to the other kid, but...
Oh, no. It's like, yeah. But, and it's like, I feel
first.
like... I don't know.
I'll send help.
yeah. It's like with her driving past the gate, that also gives them an opportunity to go away and ask for help. But,
there was a clear and present danger with the kid drowning.
Right, yes,
like, he would have likely been dead.
Yeah.
If they'd have gone and tried to get help.
Yeah.
But
I know. It's a tough call.
It is a tough call. It is a tough call, and thankfully it ended up well.
Yeah.
Like, all's well that ends well.
Yeah. But I almost didn't.
But I also wouldn't have been there that long, honestly. Like, they stayed way longer, way beyond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just no.
Yeah. No. But yeah, I feel like overall the mom's reactions were pretty reasonable. It's like the dad was a little bit less reasonable, but I can see from his perspective why he reacted the way he did. And everybody reacts to, situations differently. So I like that the fact that they showed like the different dynamics there. Yeah. But I do feel like the mother was a little bit too forgiving on Patty with how he treated Aunt, especially like whenever specifically where like Agnes was wanting to like ride on the swinging thing, and he was like really like shaking and being. I would have like.
I feel like a lot of that was again it's not my kid. It's not really my place to step in. And that is an extremely uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah. Yep. So, I'm sorry, what did you give it?
A 3.5.
Okay, good. Yeah, I gave it a 2.75.
Oh, wow.
Like, they did so well, but at the same time, again, way too many red flags. Way too many. So they start off like they're on a vacation in Italy when neither of them have a job. Like, is this the best use of resources that are very, very finite and dwindling probably fast?
They must have, the fact that they could go to Italy and they have a Tesla, they must be pretty well off.
Well off enough, but at the same time, that's not going to last forever.
Right.
So maybe let's make sure that we're stable before we actually go on a family vacation like that.
It depends, because sometimes people are like, well, this is the best opportunity.
Different place. Yeah, I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah. Just
personally, I wouldn't be able to relax. But I'm also high-strung like that. So, Then they're in Italy, and I'm sorry, but what parent lets their kid ride on a stranger's scooter in another country based on nothing? Like, oh, they found our kid Stuffy that she has this anxious tick with, like an severe attachment to. But we know nothing about them. But sure, let's go ahead and let her ride on the stranger's scooter. Sure. And I can I can understand having lunch or dinner together. I really don't understand the we just got back from vacay in another country, but let's go stay at the stranger's place that we met on vacay for a whole weekend.
Yeah.
Again, based on next to nothing.
It's like, why not get to know them more?
Yeah,
first?
and I get that they live a fair ways out there, but why an entire weekend?
Like just
an
visit
entire
for
weekend.
the evening or afternoon or something.
Yeah, a night, sure, maybe part of the day, but then head back. Like, why the whole weekend? Good God, no. The dude Patty had said he respected and understood her reasoning for being a vegetarian while they were in Italy. And then the first night that they're there, he manipulates her into like, oh, we butchered our best goose. You have to try that. This is the best part of the roast. This is specifically for you. Kind of thing. And he tries to play it off later that he completely forgot that she was a vegetarian. He's like, why didn't you say anything? I feel so bad, that kind of thing. And then they get into like a debate and it gets really uncomfortable.
Yeah, he gets really
again,
frustrated. Yeah.
And then he's like, that's right. It's a disagreement and it's very nuanced. Just like you said, it's very complicated. And a lot of people are just so adverse to healthy debate, and he tries to like spin it like this is
but it wasn't healthy.
This is not healthy.
Yeah,
like this was getting extremely uncomfortable and all. And just I agree, there can be healthy debates.
Yeah,
but the way they were doing it was very uncomfortable. And then we have an even more uncomfortable scene of the fake BJ.
Yeah. Well, it's like on the debate, there's a time and place to do it. And maybe she wasn't wanting to have the debate at that time.
Yeah.
She just wanted to be respected.
Just a little bit too. The sheets. Ew. And the fact that she was so grossed out but then didn't put like anything over it to sleep on it, I counted off for a little bit, just saying.
I wonder, do you think that was blood that had been washed out? Like they killed one of the families?
But they couldn't quite get the full stain out? Maybe. Yeah. It might have been.
I wonder.
It was hard to tell from the angle that they had it and all in the color. It didn't really show a whole lot of the color, but yeah, it was just weird. Again, the kid was clearly trying to warn them so many times. I felt so frustrated for him. And they were just like, huh, that was kind of odd. Like, this is fine. I feel like they didn't... And again, they were having problems communicating, which they explained everything involving that and all. But nothing about Patty's stories were adding up. They didn't make sense. And I feel like if they'd have just stopped and thought, they didn't even necessarily have to talk it out. If they thought about it and really like picked it apart, they would realize it didn't make sense. Nothing was adding up and they'd be like, maybe we should leave. Yep. But no, that's fine. They just rationalize everything away and ignore every warning sign ever. The girl. The girl needs the bunny. You know she needs the bunny. You know she will have serious anxiety issues without the bunny.
So why don't they double check before they leave?
Why is that not the first fucking thing you grab? Before your clothes, your suitcase, even your phone as a parent. Why is that not the first thing you grab? And honestly, the dad throughout the entire effing movie saying, you're 12 years old, you need to grow out of this. Shut the F up!
Hey, not helpful.
12 isn't that old to still have some attachment to childhood things. It's really not. She'll grow out of it when she grows out of it.
Well, it also seemed like she needs some therapy.
She does. But, it's not that big a deal. And is that really the hill you want to die on, sir?
Right.
A stuffed bunny? That's what's getting you? It's a stuffed bunny. You gotta pick your battles. And I feel like that was not the hill he should have died on. But since it was a big thing, why, again, is that not the first thing you grab when you're like, we are leaving? Yeah. I honestly would have been like, screw the clothes, screw everything else, get the bunny, we're leaving. Just saying. They have an explanation, supposedly. Again, doesn't fully make that much sense or add up. Okay, fine. You accept the explanation. Fine. But why? Why do you stay there? Like, I get why you did it, but that's still a line. We're still out. Appreciate you having us. Gonna dip. Didn't make sense why they stayed there. It was a movie. It's got a movie moment, personally. I missed writing it down. Oh, no, I didn't. I just skipped past it. Okay, so when they went to dinner, when they were going to dinner, and a random guy shows up, and they're like, this is our babysitter. Excuse you? Cool. Hun, you go on ahead. I'm staying here. I'll watch the kids. Y'all go have fun. No, it's cool. It's cool. We don't know him from Adam. Like, I'm sure you're a nice guy. You say he was a teacher. I don't know this. I haven't said 2 words to him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I have serious concerns for their daughter that they're just like, this is fine. This is fine. Like, the mom felt kind of uncomfy, but the dad was like, he was a teacher. They use him all the time. It's fine. No. No. Yeah. No. Okay. I'm sorry, so many red flags about this movie. Every time I was just like, Okay. It was good that when they found out, like the parents found out, they saw the pictures on the phone, which, again, Aunt for the win. Just like telling the girl, get out your phone, take pictures. Yeah. It's good that they try to keep it together and not cause too much alarm. Mm-hmm. It was really, really smart of the girl to fake a period when, like, playing catch doesn't work to get the dad's attention. That was insanely smart. Well done. Good of the mom to grab a weapon. That came in... That saved their lives, honestly.
Yeah.
The fact that she had that box cutter. Again, why the hell did the mom not keep going? The dad got out and said, take the wheel. I'm sorry, that's when you slam on the gas. You slam on the gas. Foot to the floor. At the very least, get past the gate so you're not stuck there. And when the gate does close, again, pretty sure that car could get through that gate. Could be wrong. It could have been stronger than it looked, but I feel like it looked flimsy enough for the car to get through.
Yeah.
Just,
so.
You know. Good for the box cutter again. That saved them. Toxic relationship. Then, okay, they're in the house. And it's good that they're blocking what they can of the entry points and all. Then they have the idea to make a Molotov cocktail and try to throw it on the thatched roof of, I think it was the barn?
Yes.
Next door. So it's going to be hard enough to break the bottle on that thatched roof. But that guy did not even try to throw it that hard. That's kind of how I could be wrong, but I feel like that's how Molotovs work. Like, you have to break the bottle for it to do damage, because then that spreads out the alcohol.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Which catches fire that way, and it spreads the area of the fire around. But if it's just, at that point, it's just a candle. You got a torch. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it only breaks when it falls on the car, and I do find it funny that eventually it does make the car explode. Well, there's your sign. That should hopefully draw enough attention. Again, they're out in the country, so even if it did draw enough attention for someone to contact the authorities or for the authorities themselves to notice, it would take a while to get there. So I get that, but I do also kind of find it funny. Like, they failed, but they also succeeded in a way. They failed successfully. The kills were reasonable, and they made sense, and the effects of the blood and everything made sense. I forgot to look up the mixture of water with sulfuric acid, if that would make it better or worse, because I feel like that wouldn't have necessarily helped, at least not as quickly as it seemed to have. But I know adrenaline is also a factor and everything like that with him. Like, he heard his girl scream and wanted to get out there to help. They've been doing this quite a bit, it seemed like, to the point where it seemed like they were living on the money that they got from that. The problem that I find that I accounted off a lot for is the trail, both paper and digital. This family in particular got a postcard from them with all of their information and with the picture that they took in Italy. So if they went missing, yeah, it could be a while before they're reported missing, but that's still an indication of last known whereabouts.
Yep.
And while the authorities might not necessarily have probable cause to search the place, or enough evidence to search the place, it still is a huge risk. Couple that with the fact that they transfer all of the money in the bank account to them.
Yeah.
I feel like there's too much of a trail.
Yeah.
And they're not being as cautious about it. And I feel like they should have been caught a lot sooner. I know stuff like this does, in fact, happen all the time. But I feel like this was a bit much. Yeah. Just a bit. I could understand taking the contents of the wallet, maybe stealing a credit card or two. But clearing out, like doing a wire transfer from the bank and sending a postcard. Like,
yeah.
You gonna go get the postcard afterwards? Which I guess they could, because they would have the keys and everything. It just, there's a lot of openness and loose ends, and it's a lot. I have questions, but yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'm done. I will quit harping on about it. It's a lot of nitpicky stuff, and a lot of it was to do with the red flags, but it was so frustrating. There were a lot of movies got a movie. We'll accept the explanation type moments.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I do feel like this movie is for sure worth the watch. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those movies that plays upon, like, how much will you allow social norms and politeness to get you through before you're like, fuck this.
Yeah. Just start singing and dancing on the way out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope.
Yeah. Yep.
No thanks.
But thank you for joining us today and let you know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and a PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea. It just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of those sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye!